So, a quick backstory. Recently, in these next few days, there will be an event that is a costume event. And when I mentioned this to my friends, uh, one of my friends uh, suggested that I dress up. Now, I don't know if you've gotten this from my channel, but this is my appearance everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if I'm going to a bank, it doesn't matter if I'm going to the grocery store. Wherever I'm at, I will look like this, minus the mask. Like my masks do change, but overall, this is my appearance. So when she stated that I should dress up, I mentioned that there's not really much more room for me to go from this, and she suggested that I go as my opposite self. So in this video is basically for her. We will be making my mask so I can go to this event as the opposite of myself.
In that conversation, it was mentioned that I should go as an angel. And so I'm going to do my best to, I don't know, I guess make my version of an angel. But we're going to need a mask. So all my masks are white. This is going to be the opposite of my white masks. And then we are going to need some plastic lace. Well, string lace. Lacing string? I don't know. This is what we're going to need though to make this work. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to need a mask. I hate these strings here and how they're held up by that. So we're gonna get rid of these strings, and instead I will be sewing a mask in like in my previous videos for my other masks. Okay, tags are removed. The string that went on here, that's also removed. We might have to do this in a different location just because I am on my glass art table, and I'm usually concerned about even having scissors up here, let alone sharp metal objects that that have some weight to them. If I was to drop them on their point, I don't know what they would do to this glass. All right, for this, I got my trusty drill, and we will be actually drilling some holes. I thought it would be a good idea to use the pick to kind of puncture the holes. However, I'm going to have to put a lot of pressure, and I'm worrying about, I worry, can't even talk, that I might bend the plastic or cause the plastic to break in areas where a lot of pressure might have to be applied. So instead of dealing with that, we're just going to drill out the holes. Do you notice how when it breaks through, it just breaks through super aggressively? That's the reason why I don't do this on my table, because, you know, for fear of going through the mask and then puncturing the glass on my table. Okay, so the holes are all drilled. Let's begin sewing her up, or it up. I always say her for everything, so I guess that's just how I talk. This top part, I might have to do it into two sections, so let's just cut the top part into a smaller section, and then we'll do that first. Okay, pretty simple and easy. Now it'll just be a matter of sticking these down here. So I will figure out how I'm going to do that. I'm hesitant to use hot glue. I've never used hot glue in the past, just because it might melt the actual mask, because it's, you know, it's plastic, and this one's pretty thick, but still. So let's cut the pieces for the bottom part, and let's move on to stitching that up. I'm hoping this will be a unique pattern, but we will see. Whoa, almost dropped my lamp or light. All right, so I think I've got it. This is pretty much the design that I went with. I just have to figure out how to get the string stuck on the back. So it's a little loose right now, but I think this is gonna do it. All right, so I've got it all glued up and everything. I just basically folded it on itself. You can kind of see there. And I still went with hot glue. I just made sure that the hot glue was sticking on the lace instead of actually on the mask. So it's just on the lace itself there in between. So now, now that all that's tight and everything like that, I'm going to have to wait until the morning so I can sew in the mask, because I actually need quite a bit of light to be able to see. And I feel even with all the lighting that I can get in this room, it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to pause here and I'll continue early in the morning. I lied. I actually think I can do this with the lighting that I've got. Even though the mask is black and it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see, I should be fine. So this is the mask that's gonna go underneath it. Oh, this is like really nice. Hopefully that wire doesn't cause an issue. Anyhow, that's the mask. Going to need some thread, one of these. I want to say this is a thimble. I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, we need this so I can push the needle through the plastic, and a bunch of needles, probably a thicker one, so maybe something like this one. I've punctured a few holes, and that's where I will be sticking the needle through to sew the mask on. It's just easier to pre-make the holes before actually trying to run the needle through, because trying to make the holes and, you know, sew it on, it's kind of, it takes a bit. Okay, so that's it right there. Normally I put, make a few passes up here in the center of the nose, but in this case, I think this is sufficient. So I just kind of made several passes there, and then a couple down here, and then right there. And I usually keep this area pretty loose, and just because, you know, I don't want to make it hard to breathe. So I don't really ever like sew this against the mask itself. I only go around the edges for the most part. And that the last part, or the last piece of what I needed, has arrived. Okay, so this is the contents of what was in here, and my prescription contacts so that I can see, but these are going to be a whiteout pair, and then I have this one with a small thin black outline.
Thanks for watching. We will catch you on the next one.